Hello, welcome to another episode of the Blue Mountain Makes podcast. I'm Mary Lynn, coming to you as always from the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, where I live with my husband, my dogs, and some chickens. This is the last podcast before Rhinebeck weekend. We are a few days away. It's gonna rain. It's gonna be great. I think I saw on Tiff Nealon's Instagram that if one of us is gonna smell like wet wool, we're all gonna smell like wet wool, so we'll just do it together. It'll be great. Today I have one finished object that I'm in love with, 3 whips, one of which is kind of sort of a secret. It's a test knit, so I don't think I know I can't share like all the details, but I think I can just share a quick glimpse of it. So we'll get into that in a minute. But first, I am wearing my finished, Pink Fizz. It just went right out of my brain. It's the Pink Fizz by Andrea Mowry. I started this in May of this year, put it down. I think I got through the body, like it's bottom up, and I think I made it to where I had to split and work flat and just gave up because it is wool and mohair, and it was getting hot outside, so it sat in hibernation all summer long, and then I really wanted this finished before I started on some other projects, so I got it together, and I have worn the living heck out of this. I think I've only had it done for about a week, but I went to the lake last weekend with my girlfriends and I lived in this because it was like crappy weather and it was really cold, and this is so snuggly and soft, and it's my first mohair sweater and I love it. So I'll back up and give you a little bit of a better view of it. Ta-da! It is oversized. It is a bottom up. You start with a longer back hem, and then you connect and do your front hem. It has a split hem. It's got lace panels on both the front and the back. And it's gorgeous, and I love it. It's a drop shoulder. Ugh. So, I used Drops Nord. This was purchased for a different sweater, and I did not like the color of it, so I ended up pairing it with some Drops mohair, silk, kid mohair, whatever the name of their mohair is, and in green, and it really toned it down, and I really, really like it. It gives it kind of like a marled look, which is super nice. And yeah. So Andrea Mowry patterns, I generally do a size 3. This one is a size 2 because she calls for a lot of positive ease, and I still in the 2. Like, I think there's my side. So I have a lot of extra room in this. It's very baggy and nice, but I will say, so if you've watched before, you know, one of my, not really complaints, but a thing that I run into with Andrea Mowry patterns is I feel like she writes for very small sleeves, and she is of an opinion that it's just generally people tend to have a smaller gauge in their sleeves, so I guess on top of it being small plus a tighter gauge, or you're just making tiny sleeves. But I will say I don't find that my gauge changes for sleeves, and as baggy as this is, like, the sleeves are fairly fitted. I do have a t-shirt on under this, so in case you're wondering, you know, I didn't want to flash everybody with my bits with my lace panels, but yeah, so I feel like this is kind of like proof positive that her patterns have smaller arms, because I mean, you know, whatever. I love it. I love the way this fits. I love how I feel in it. I love how I look in it. I think that the green came out super nice for my complexion, and 10 out of 10, love it. Don't know if I'd make it again because that was a lot of lace. I might make it in the future, but I don't think I need to right now. This would not be something I would make and give away because it is definitely labor of love. So I use size 6 needles. I think I use 4s for the ribbing. It's a lot. It's like a long ribbing too, which I like. I don't know if it'll focus. It's just like oversized and cozy and lovely, and still looks very elegant, I think, even with sweatpants, which is what I'm wearing it with. So yeah, if you're interested in making the Pink Fizz, definitely do it. The lace panel, when you open the pattern, she has it all charted out, and it looks very intimidating, but it's really not. There's no cabling at all. It's all just yarn overs, slip knits, and knit 2 togethers. There is one thing that's kind of, she has a set of 3 stitches that are a little bit weird, but it involves just like passing a stitch over another one, and where you pass it or not pass it makes some of the, it's almost like a leaf pattern. I don't know. It's Japanese lace knitting, apparently. Apparently she was very inspired by her stitch Bible from Japan. So, that's that. I love it. 10 out of 10. Can't get out of it. Am I wearing it to Rhinebeck? No, I am not. Because, got schmutz on it. It's supposed to be like in the 60s and wet. And I literally cannot imagine walking around in a crowded place in wet mohair when I'm already warm. I'm very warm-natured anyways. I was kind of worried that this would be too warm for me to wear in general, but I keep my house very cold, so I don't think this would be something I could wear like to my office that's 4,000 degrees in the winter, but it works for literally everywhere else. Okay, so my next whip is something you've already seen. I probably should have stopped at a better place because this is going to look super duper weird to show. It's the Vertices Unite by Stephen West, which, so if you've ever made one before, you do everything in sections. There's 5 sections, and you put some stitches on hold, I guess, to pick up for the I-cord edging at the end. So I've got stuff on hold, I've got active stitches, I've got yarn everywhere, basically. She's a big one, so I'll back up again. This is section 1. Section 2, section 3, I think. I've run out. I have no idea. Whatever. These are the sections. So I decided to make this a scrappy project because I've run out of stuff. I really wanted to use up some like partial balls I had in my stash, and I thought I had enough to make it through the whole thing, but I didn't. So the first section is my hand spun and what I thought was a drops merino until I got to the end of it and realized, oops, the light gray is the drops merino. This was the brownish colored stripe is actually knitting for Olive cotton merino that I had left over from a tank top that I made, so they don't match. But you know what? I don't care. This has turned into such a scrap project, and I love it because I'm just using up all these little bits that have just been laying around. So that was my first sort of oopsie. Then I got to this yellow section and thought, surely I have enough of this Noro yarn left over. I had almost a whole ball of it, but definitely ran out. So towards the end, I started to stripe it with my color D, whatever, which is this. It is a Malabrigo sock. So, started to stripe that so that it would look less weird when I just switched all the way over at the end. And now, I'm working on this section, which technically should be this light gray, but I don't really like it that well. So I swapped that out for, focus, if you can do it. Swap that gray out for this leftover drops alpaca, because why not? And I think I'm going to use the alpaca for the border as well. I like that better. I think that the green and the brown look good together. I think this would have been just a bit too much. And, you know, hindsight being 2020, I probably wish I would have not used this bright gray and just subbed in this alpaca beige, but I'm not going back that far. It's not happening. So that is my Vertices Unite so far, with a needle poking through the middle. Using size 4 needles. Most everything in here is fingering weight. My hand spun's, you know, kind of questionable. It's mostly fingering weight. So this is all I have left. This one and the whole last section is just supposed to be this one singular color, so I'll probably end up striping that too. I don't know. I think it's coming together pretty well. It's such a weird project, and I feel like it changes, you know, so much from section to section that, like, until you've got the whole thing together at the end, you don't really know what you're working with. But so far, I do quite like it. And it is very soft, and it's going to wear super well, too, you know, if I don't strangle myself. Ooh. The shape of it is really nice, and it doesn't fall off. Like, in between sections, when I don't have needles hanging off or live stitches, I just wear it around the house and look like a weirdo with my half-finished thing and all of my ends. But I do like it. It's been a lot of fun. It's all garter stitch. It's very simple. The sections are simple. It's kind of a mindless thing, and it's knitting up pretty quick, all things considered. This first section is definitely the biggest and takes the longest, but even that, it's not bad at all. And I think because you're doing it in sections, it's very manageable. It's like very bite-sized. Not to mention, like, the whole pattern, I think, is like a page and a half with pictures. Very simple. So that is that. It's gonna be real interesting at the end. I don't know. I will for sure wear it, but I don't know if this would be my favorite. Like, I kind of think if I do make another one, which I probably will, I think I will go into it intentionally picking my colors and definitely knowing I have enough, but it's fun. It's fun, and it's different, and it's using up stash, and I didn't have to buy anything for it, so it worked out. So that's that. The next project is another Andrew Mallory. I'm working on my Traveler hoodie. I'm using this really nice navy Nord, so same base that I used for this. Ta-da! It's got some acrylic in it and also dog hair. It's merino, alpaca, and acrylic, I think. I think that's all that's in this. And it's not, they don't say that it's machine washable, but I am tempted to try, so we'll see. I don't know. But that having been said, I haven't worked a whole lot on this. It's not a whole lot of progress, but to bottom up, size 4s. No? Yes. Yeah, 6. Size 6. My bad. I used 4s for the ribbing. Let's see, we got a nice long rib at the bottom, and then this kind of like weird horizontal ribbing. And the thing about it is, she says it stretches like a lot in blocking. Did I do a swatch? No. Should I have? Yeah. But I could definitely see, like, it's gonna relax pretty dramatically, which is gonna be great because I kind of don't like this accordion look, to be honest. Dropping stitches. But yeah, so she gives like math on how to figure out what you've knit versus what it's gonna look like when it's blocked. And I have a steam, whatever, clothes steamer. So I think I'm gonna steam block it and just see how much. I'll measure before and after I've steamed it and just see where it relaxes to, and then just kind of go from there. She also made hers like super cropped, and I'm not a big cropped person, so I will be making mine a little bit longer. And I'm almost wondering if there's any way I could add, I mean, I know it could, if I should add a hoodie pocket to it. Because I have a feeling that wearing it and it being just a comfortable throw-on kind of piece, I'm really going to want to stick my hands in pockets and they're not going to be there. So that's, I mean, I could add that at the end. So I think I'm just going to wait and see how this goes. But this is definitely like back burner project right now. I really want to finish the Vertices Unite. And this is just, it's just here. It's, you know, a couple rows of purling in between a couple rows of knitting. So as you know, purling is not my favorite thing in the world. I don't necessarily look forward to it. I wouldn't say that this is something that I really find myself actively reaching for, other than I really want the finished project. So, and I also kind of need these needles. So there's that too. Don't you hate that? You get into something and you're like, I only have one pair of 6s and it's in that sweater that's going to take 6 years to finish. Which is why I now own 3 pairs of 6s and like 6 pairs of 4s, because I'm impatient. Yeah, not a whole lot to say about that. It's, I mean, you know, just working on the body, working my way up. Maybe I'll take this with me this weekend. Probably not. We have a 7-hour drive to get to Rhinebeck. Well, lies. We have a 7-hour drive to get to my sister-in-law's house. She's very kindly letting us stay with her. I'm super excited because I don't get to see them very often. So 7 hours to her house and then another hour to Rhinebeck. So I'm going to be in the car a lot. And I could definitely finish the body of that. Possibly work on the arms. But this is going to be a really short episode, y'all. We're just flying through this. I do have my super secret test knit. It's not like super secret, but so Caitlin Hunter put out a test call on her Instagram a couple weeks ago, and I applied thinking I had like a snowball's chance of getting it, and I got it. I'm so excited. I love her stuff. I think that my Caitlin Hunter knits definitely fit me the best out of all of the designers that I've knit, it's kind of I don't have to worry about it, you know what I mean? Like, her stuff just fits. So, that having been said, I'm working on this test knit, and I'm like, I don't know if this one's gonna fit. I'll give you a sneak peek. I don't think I'm allowed to share. It has a name, but she hasn't posted it on any of her socials, so I'm not gonna, like, say the name, but it is an all-over colorwork yoke. She shared that much. And she has a picture on her Instagram, and her version is gorgeous. And I thought about just, like, duplicating hers, and I was like, no. That's not very helpful for her. For me as a test knitter, just to, like, knit the exact same thing that she has. It's not, you know, showing off what it could be. And 2, I didn't want to have to order that yarn and wait for it. So all of this is from my stash, which is kind of sad. How often I'm like, I just pulled it out of my stash. That means I have too much stuff sitting around, I think. But, quick sneak peek. I've just done the yoke, I've just split for the body, and I've got like half an inch of the body because I got like an inch. I split for sleeves. I measured from like there's short rows in the back, and I measured from the short row side, and I definitely should have measured from the front, and I was like way short. I was like 2 inches short for my yoke. So oopsies, had to rip it out, dropped a bunch of stitches. It was like a whole drama thing, but I picked them up and it looks great. And here's like just a sliver of, ta-da! Get my face out of it. It's so beautiful. I love it. So I say I worry that it's not going to fit right because I have gauge, but I find that as I continue to go further down this yoke, because it's all stranded. I'll show you the inside. That's not cheating, right? Like I said, she has a picture of like her picture is the yoke and one of the sleeves. So it's definitely not anything you haven't seen if you don't follow her, but I really don't want to break any rules because I'm like really excited to be chosen, and I don't want to be kicked off the team in the future, you know? Yeah, there's my floats. There you go. That's pretty cool. So the whole thing is there's floats on the whole thing, and there's plenty of room stretch-wise, but it is drawing together. So this is another thing I'm going to need to steam. Because I measured gauge at the beginning, I measured gauge when I switched to the second color, but as I continue to go, it's like pulling in further because of all of those floats. And I'm trying to not catch them at the same place, but inevitably I catch them at the same place. It's like so weird. When I actively try to not do it, I look back and I'm like, dang it, I did it the whole time. So, let me grab my yarn balls and I can at least show you my colors for longer than 5 seconds. Hold, please. See if I can hold them all together. I don't think I'm going to be able to in the order. So this is the top. Next color. Next color. Hard. Next color. And my last color. Ta-da! I did it. So this is my color choice. Yeah. It is a little bit wild. It definitely sent like, so I had the colors that I wanted and I wasn't sure what order to put them in, so I sent a picture to my girlfriends who are all non-knitters, not into any kind of fiber arts at all, and they said, is there any other option? I said, no, this is what I'm doing. Trust the vision. Trust and believe, like Stephen West says, trust and believe. So yeah, I think that like these colors were very much Halloween inspired, especially these three, for sure, Halloween. But this is that drops that I was using in the Vertices Unite that I said it was too bright, but I thought it was like a really good, it breaks up all those kind of crazy colors. It's a good neutral. So, stash dive. This is Hudson West Company, Weld. I really like this. I've used a little bit of this yarn in other projects, but I've never done like a whole sweater in Hudson West, but I do like it. It's nice to work with. The colors are super duper nice on all the ones that I've gotten, but I have a lot of like random single skeins of this because my local yarn store has a whole section that's 50% off, and for some reason like there was a bunch of these one time and I went nuts and bought a lot of them. But they didn't have enough of one color to make like a whole project. So I've got a lot of one-offs on that. This one I bought when I was in Maine last year. This was supposed to be for my 2022 Mystery Knit Along with Stephen West. This is Quince & Co. Finch, I believe. Can't remember the name of it, but I love this color. I started the Mystery Knit Along last year, didn't like it, and ended up knitting that Aurora Cabin shawl out of completely different yarn anyways, so had this. This is a Rowan, some kind of blend. I wish I had this all in front of me. I took notes when my iPad's dead. It's got silk in it, and it's definitely wool, silk, and possibly a third, but this was also in the bargain bin at the LYS, so I bought that. Also at the bargain bin at the LYS. This is incredibly soft. This is Juniper, I think it's Juniper Moon Farms Baby Alpaca. It's so soft. It's like ridiculous. I really wish I had my notes in front of me. I just don't. I don't want to lie and say it's something it's not, but it's definitely Baby Alpaca, and it is to die for. The only trouble is that this one is so much silkier, drapier than the other yarns that it does affect my yoke a little bit, but it's not a whole lot, so I think it's okay. I'm just gonna go with it. And then this is just Drops Baby Merino, which I had left over from another project. So stash stove for that, and the body of it I'm using Drops Flora, which I had bought this with the intentions of knitting Caitlin Hunter's Alpine Bloom, and I had just enough. I had 2 balls left over from a different project, a different Caitlin Hunter project, plus what I was going to use for the t-shirt. I have just enough to do this test knit, so I didn't have to buy anything. But I am now out of Drops Flora, and I will have to buy some more, but it's on sale right now, so yeah, very excited about that. I'm doing the size 3. Yeah, I'm trying to be extra super duper careful and like read every line. I'm really bad about just kind of skimming a pattern and going, I know what I'm doing, and then I get like halfway through and I'm like, that was all wrong. Ha ha ha, I'll just make it work. But you can't do that with a test knit. I think this is only my 3rd test knit. Like I weighed all of my yarns. I'm keeping track of how many balls I'm using on the body. I'm trying to be really good. So I'm very excited. I can't wait to have this and wear it. And my non-believer friends were the ones that I went on my trip with last weekend, and they were like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. It's like, y'all told me that you didn't like it and you wanted me to scrap it. And they're like, well, we didn't see it after you started knitting. It's like, yeah, trust and believe. I'm right. So yeah, that is that. I'm very excited. That's probably going to be, I really want to finish that first. So my Vertices Unite is kind of like my fun project, I guess, right now. And I'm in the body of the test knit, so it's just in the round until I get to the ribbing, so that part's not bad. There is some color work on the sleeves that I'm pretty excited about. You reflect the yoke in the sleeves, and it's the opposite. So like it's purple to yellow, and then on the sleeves it'll be yellow to purple. It's gonna be really pretty. Very excited. I hope that it blocks out right, or else I'm gonna be ripping that sucker back. I'll probably cry. I probably should have, like, I know that my color work pulls a little bit, so I probably should have just gone ahead and gone up a needle size, but I was really fussing over that gauge number because I want to make sure that I match the pattern. And it's been right until about halfway through. And then I was worried it would blow out. I don't know. We'll see. I'll steam block it and see what happens. Like I said, I tried it on with my, these thingies. These things. I put it on this and tried it on as I went, and it fits the shoulder fine. I just didn't have it deep enough for the armhole. But yeah, I have the worst time with those stupid things. Like, I know you have to really ram them onto the needle, but apparently I didn't ram it hard enough, and I lost a bunch of stitches, and putting it on and taking it off, I popped it off, so it was a whole thing. It was dumb. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Like I said, I'm going Rhinebeck. I'm leaving at 7 in the morning on Friday. We'll spend the evening with my sister-in-law and her husband and just hang out. And I'm going to have to be like, I know it's an hour away, but you should really drive separate to Rhinebeck because I will be there all day in the wet, and I don't think that they're going to want to do that. She kind of, she doesn't knit or anything. She just goes to look at the animals because she loves animals, which is really cute. But, yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to buy a ton of wool. I'm basically there I want to get different types of sheep breeds for spinning. I want to get some hand-dyed stuff. I want to get some undyed stuff so that I can dye it if I can buy it in bulk enough to make it make sense. Yeah, I'm really excited. I like it, and the rain is whatever. Most of it's inside, and I have a raincoat. I just really don't like the idea of carrying my stuff around and the stuff getting wet in the bags, so I might have to, plan around that. But I am going to try to vlog a little bit of the experience this year, but I'm a horrible vlogger. I've never done it successfully. I tend to forget or get distracted, so we'll see how that goes. Don't hold your breath, but I'm planning a Rhinebeck special video. It could just end up being another podcast, who knows. But yeah, that is it for today. I am going to go pack a bag, I guess. I haven't packed anything. I'm going to take 2 Caitlin Hunter sweaters. I'm either going to wear I'm not even going to get into it. I'll have pictures. I'll have it in the vlog. But one's a short sleeve, one's a long sleeve, so it depends on how wet and gross it is, I guess. Yeah, so it's a lot of driving. 7 hours up on Friday, an hour to Rhinebeck Saturday, 7 hours back home Sunday, and then my husband is going away for work, and I guess the guy that's traveling with him from work, his coworker, is picking him up at our house at 3:30 in the morning Sunday night. So, and then they have to drive 2.5 hours to get to DC, to get on a plane, to get to Missouri, and then he's going to be out there all week. So I feel bad for him, but I'm not going to let it cut into my wool time, so sorry. This has been planned for a year, and he just found out about his trip 2 weeks ago, so oh well. Alright, I'm excited. I'm going to go pack. I'll see you guys very, very soon. If you're going to Rhinebeck and you see me around, say hello. If you're not going, I know it's probably really annoying to listen to people talk about it, but it is something I look forward to all year, so I'm definitely talking about it. Very excited. I will see y'all very soon. Bye for now.